Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC, DC, Marvel.
No, read image.
We create our own realities and words.
That's disgusting.
Hello.
That's disgusting.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Chat. Welcome to the Geek Chat. Welcome to the Geek Chat.
The Geek Chat.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome to the Geek Chat. I'm your host, Desmond, and with me, as always, is my co-host,
Just Rich.
Just Rich. Not Rich times 2 or Rich.
Would you want me
max.
times 2?
No, not at all.
All right.
No.
One's enough.
Rich point 1 is okay.
Who says this is point 1?
Anyway, welcome to another edition of the Geek Chat. We are here every Monday from 6 to 7 live on MixLR, and you can come in and talk to us and be a part of the magic because we love talking to you.
The magic.
The magic. I'm sorry, Rick just trying to fix his hair right now. What little he has. It's very funny.
It's cold. I'm putting stuff on my head.
Yes, it is very cold in San Francisco right now. But if you missed this show on MixLR at 6, from 6 to 7, you can go to soundcloud.com and take a look at all of our previous shows as well as this show. It'll always be posted on Tuesday, the following day of the live show, between 12 and 2. So you can check us out and catch up on old shows. We have over 50 now, so we've been doing this for over a year now, so we kind of know what we're talking about. At least I think we do.
We kind of know what we're talking about.
We kind of know.
We're getting there.
I would think so. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Come to the Facebook group. And
How do they get to the Facebook group?
They search for The Geek Chat.
So they log into Facebook.
Wow,
they go to that
really?
little search bar and they
Yes.
put The Geek Chat.
They
And then
put
you come
The
and
Geek Chat.
you post all great stuff.
Yes, and then we respond all the time, and we have lively conversations about various things.
And some of our members are very opinionated.
Yes,
so we
and
hope
outspoken.
Yes, so
We won't
join
you know,
in the conversation.
You know who you are. And if you don't want to
think
go to
he's listening.
SoundCloud, I think they are. If you don't want to go to SoundCloud, you can always check us out on iTunes as well as Stitcher. We're also on Tumblr, Instagram, and finally, we are on YouTube.
Yay.
Again, always check The Geek Chat when
Yeah.
you're searching for us.
Except no substitutes.
Except no substitutes. So what we do on this show is we review comic books, especially on this show. We have a second show, our sister show, called Geek Chat Point 5, in which we talk about all kinds of superhero TV shows, whether that's cartoons or network shows or movies, whatever. We also respond to Facebook conversations that have been going on our Facebook group. You can check that show out on Thursdays. That's when it is posted. And again, that is from, it'll be posted between 12 and 2 on SoundCloud. You can always find that as well on the other platforms that I mentioned as well. So definitely check us out. We are here for you. So come in and let us know what you think. So on this show, though, we have, as Rich has dubbed it, we have
The number
ton of-
ones
Yep.
and that other late Marvel book.
Yes, a ton of number ones and that late Marvel book. I think you know what we're talking about. So, Rich.
Well, we got a good mix for you tonight because we've got, of course, Marvel's releasing all sorts of number ones. But we got
Yes,
a
they are.
couple image books for you and a brand new number one that Des and I have some opinions about, like we always do with DC. We're going to review a brand new number one from DC as well. What do you want to get started with?
I'll let you start.
All right.
Because I know we had a lot. I know that
We have a lot.
it was truthfully, it was a really mixed bag this week for both of us. It was a really mixed bag. So
let's get this out of the way.
oh really? Okay,
You
sure,
wanna?
yeah.
All right. So we have number one, Superman American Alien from DC Comics. It's going to be a 7-issue miniseries written by Max Landis, and each issue is going to have a different artist. The number one's artist was Nick Dragata, was the illustrator. Alex Guimaralis was the colorist. John Workman was the letterer. Yes. So the name of this one is called Dove. Or Dove. I think it's Dove. I am a big fan of Nick Dragata. If you read the series East of West, that book is beautifully drawn. It is very stylized. And Nick Dragata brings his stylized artwork to this issue as well. But my problem with some of the art is the over animated big eyes in some of the pages. It's more of a cartoony look for him instead of the serious Western steampunk that he draws in East of West. The story is basically about Clark as a child learning to fly and how his mom and dad help him to come down, because basically he can get up, but he can't come down. It's going to be another origin story from DC. And Des and I were wondering, do we really need another origin story? Or, I think hidden tales from the past are always fun. But when you don't know what DC's angle is on this, for me, it was kind of hard, because is this his new 52 origin story? Is it going to be just something they're just putting out? I enjoyed it, but is the hook enough for me to read the next one? It all depends on who the artist is for me, really. But story-wise, never really been a huge Superman fan, but I know a lot of people do love what he used to stand for in the old 52. Is that going to translate into what Max Landis has planned for this series? What did you think?
This one was a hard one for me, because I have been a Superman fan for a very long time. I have read... I read a lot of the books that explored his background and where he's come from and how he became. Like, I read Birthright. I read a lot of the John Byrne stuff. But it just seemed like, why? Like, why do we need this now? Honestly, is this was this DC just giving a person of prominence stage to tell a story? Is that what's going on? Because if that is, that's fine. I don't mind, but it just doesn't seem like it fits in what DC is trying to do now. Is this an Elseworld story? Is this, like you said before, is this connected to anything of substance going on in the New 52? And that's what I didn't understand. Yeah. I mean, it didn't really seem like he was learning to fly so much as it's a story about how, in my opinion, about how their parents are dealing with their child that has superpowers. And I think that's an interesting angle to explore. And I'm just surprised at how many people kind of realized what was going on with him. People were just like, oh, what's going on with that boy? Is he flying again? And blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, really? You really guys just cannot keep
a secret.
What's going on? And then I kept flashing to the Superman movie, the Scott Snyder one. I'm thinking, is Superman gonna have to kill all these people, to hide his secret? And because you see in the ads, you see Superman like standing there, and it's like a mugshot, and I'm like, is there gonna be like a bad time? Was he a bad boy at some point? And this
Red Kryptonite.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying that.
That would be pretty interesting. But at this point, for me, it really kind of felt like a why. Like, why are we doing this? I mean, will I pick it up? Probably not. I mean, I think something like this would read a lot better in trade.
Now, how do you feel about we were going into it a couple, I don't think we've mentioned it on this podcast, but we talk a lot in the shop about Scarlet Witch and how the new Scarlet Witch series is going to have different artists on every issue. So something like this, that's a mini series, do you think that the different artists are really going to make it or break it, or is that just something that they're going with so it gets out on time?
I think it's something they're going with so it gets out on time. And I think they're actually trying to make it, because you're going to appeal to a lot of different people with different artists, because people, and it seems like if these stories are not going to be, because for me, whenever I see a story arc, and if it's going to have different artists, it puts me in a different mindset for the story. Mm-hmm. So the way that a longer story arc has worked for me if it is going to introduce different story or artists is if it's a different time in that person's life. So that's why I'm thinking.
And that is this.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking that might be okay with this one because if it is showing these kind of like snapshots of Clark's life as before he becomes Superman, then it makes more sense. But if this is going to be a complete narrative, then I don't think it really works. I just don't think multiple artists or rotating artists so quickly works for a story, because I think it really pulls the reader out of it.
Especially if you read it collected, and every single, it seems, chapter is something different.
Exactly.
The other thing, this cover, while a great cover, really has little to do with the inside, but then again, really, they don't have anything to do with the inside a lot of times. But the S motif in the cornfield, that was kind of cool. Are you led to believe he did it? I don't know. DC gave us a new number 1, and we'll see how it goes by 7. We'll check in periodically with it, because Jay Lee is going to be doing an issue, and I'm really looking forward to that. I love Jay Lee's art.
Why'd you say that?
Jock is going to be doing an issue.
Why did you have to say that?
Tommy Lee Edwards, Nick Dragata did the one. Francis Manipal, Joel Jones, who did that Lady Killer that we loved.
That's what they're doing. I mean,
Jonathan Case and Ryan Sook are going to be the artists on this book.
Yeah, they're really pushing the big name artists with this artist. Oh, sorry, with this writer. I mean, you know, John Landis,
Max Landis.
Max Landis. I think it's his son anyway.
Isn't John the dad?
Yeah, John is his dad, so Max is his son, if I remember correctly. You know, I think he was connected with Chronicle and all that other stuff. So this is his first foray, to my knowledge, into comic books. So
I don't think so. He had some stuff done at Boom, I think.
Really?
I'll look. Keep talking.
Yeah, but anyway, regardless, I think it's with them having the rotating stable of artists. They're really trying to do something with this. I just don't know if it is worth it at this point. So for me, number 1 that I had mixed reviews for was Marvel's all new, all different Avengers number
we're going
1.
right to that. Okay.
I might as well, because this is another one that was one of Marvel's flagships. So I wanted to talk about that, because I know that you didn't really like it, and I have to agree with you that it seemed very, I don't know,
By the books,
paint by numbers.
Yeah.
You know, how it all happened. I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely think, you know, Mark Waid is a really good writer and can get a story going, but it just seems like this was not his best work. Okay, so first and foremost, let's get the credits out. We have the writer was Mark Waid, artist was Adam Kubert, color artist was Sonia Obak, letter is VC's Corey Pettit, and cover artist was the amazing Alex Ross. Again, this is all new, all different Avengers number 1, 2015. I think it's hilarious that they have to put the date, the year in which it came out, because they probably have re-released this.
Oh my God, there's
so
many
many
number
times.
1s. Yeah.
But
and you know, this is only the beginning. 2016 is going to start. Who knows what's going to happen at the end of 2016.
Exactly. So on the cover, we get to see what the whole team looks like, but unfortunately, 2 of the team members are MIA, that being Thor and the Vision.
And 2 of the team members don't really make an appearance in the main story.
No, they don't. It really is Miles Morales, Iron Man, and Captain America making their appearance as they're kind of thrown together, and they're going through the motions of like, is there a real team? I mean, that's the crux of the issue, is just, you know, Sam Wilson, Captain America, is saving some people, and they start digging into him about him not being their Captain America.
Oh my God, I love the continuity.
I love the little
side talk that Mark Waid has put in this book throughout it, and the little digs at the different people. Like, I love the line about, well, who did you expect him to pick? Meaning, which Girl Scout was he going to give money to? They're really playing up in this book and in his own book, not only the race, but people not accepting him as their Captain America, which is a real reflection.
But I loved how he passed the buck to Tony Stark.
So to say, pass the buck.
Yeah, exactly. And then Tony Stark didn't have any money. I just thought it was those small little character moments of humor that really made the book shine.
Yes.
But overall, I mean, you really have Miles Morales, in the wrong place. Well, I guess he was following these people, and there's what is the alien race they're called?
The Chitauri.
Yeah,
which that has looked like no Chitauri before.
Well,
okay.
he is a super powered Chitauri.
A warlord
okay?
Chitauri.
Yeah, he's a warlord, and he is coming to Earth to do something. And it was just like, okay, you're connecting it to the movie, fine. And then the other person who is magical or whatever, it just seemed very like, whatever.
Who says this is my real form?
Yeah, it's like
very Loki. But I know they're not going to go with it. But
what if it was Loki?
Remember, well, you have to remember, Loki has been in the beginning of all the I pretty much all the Avengers is because of Loki. So
Yes.
is this going to be Loki?
That would be interesting.
Because he would have brought the team together yet again.
Exactly. But again, that's what it is. Miles Morales just happens to, or Captain America and Iron Man seem to just come across Miles Morales, who's in a bit of trouble, and then they all kind of get together. But there was conversation about, is there a team? There is really no Avengers team because all New Avengers is sort of like AIM, so they're not really an Avengers. Then you have Steve Rogers,
the Unity Squad.
The Unity Squad, which is technically not an Avengers.
And you got the Ultimates.
The Ultimates are not Avengers. So I think that was interesting that they were talking about the vacuum that was filled with all these people going off and doing their own things. Yeah. So it made sense in that instance that, okay, we need to have an Avengers because we've always had an Avengers. So I was like, okay, that seemed organic to me. But just the introduction of the villain, of being the Chitauri and all that stuff, it just seemed very like, whatever.
I loved the transforming car to armor. A couple more panels could have really showed you. It could have been really cool Transformers, but I liked the idea of his car can turn into this like Hulkbuster armor.
I agree, but that does not jive with what Bendis has said. He doesn't need that anymore because his armor is this sort of
Did you find that two books did not match well?
No, they didn't.
So in Iron Man, he's rich. He's got his penthouse and he's got all this stuff. And then here he's poor, and I'm like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, there might have been something that hasn't happened yet, or something that
maybe Madame Mask is the reason why he's poor. I don't know, but the Iron Man book and this book do kind of.
Yeah, they're not in sync.
No,
but
I liked it. Maybe to play devil's advocate, maybe the way it was written, since this is an all diverse, inclusive team, and Marvel it is a number one. Maybe he wrote it that way so that more readers would be more. They could get it a little easier for people that are coming in to comic books. You and I have been reading them, so for us, we're like A plus B plus C, equals this story. But overall, like we liked a lot of things about it. I thought there were a lot of good character moments in it. I found the backup story to be kind of clunky in that she kind of was, I don't know, they both kind of seemed different from their own books because I read both their books. You don't read Nova though.
Yeah, I don't read Nova. So that was the thing that I thought was interesting was I actually kind of liked their interaction. I actually liked the secondary story a lot better than the first
than the main
story.
one.
Than the main one. I think because I like
kids,
youthful tales, and I like the art. So the second story was called "You're a Jerk," and it was by Mark Waid, as well as the artist was Mohammed Asira.
Mumrad.
Sorry, Mumrad.
I think that's how we say his name.
Asra, and the
yeah,
Mumad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the color artist was Dave McCaig, and letterer was VC's Corey Pettit. Get your money, Corey.
So I like the reference back. The very first, right when you open the cover, is Ms. Marvel calling Nova a jerk. You're a jerk, and the way it's written. And it harkens back to the 80s with Kitty Pryde when she was calling Professor Xavier a jerk. And I was thinking, I thought it was really cool. Kitty Pryde, back in the 80s, was basically the new kid on the block. And she was, I don't want to say the darling, but she was, what they tried to make Pixie last time. They tried to make Pixie something big.
Yeah.
And now I think it's really cool. You open up this all new, all different Avengers, and the new young girl for the ages is Ms. Marvel, and she's the one saying you're a jerk. I really liked that kind of comparison.
She came off kind of stuffy in the.
She really did.
And I really liked how Sam was just kind of like, hey, and he tells her his idea, and she like freaks out, and then he tries to play it off, and I was like, oh, Sam. I think he really liked her.
And that's what I'm wondering. Are we going to get this kind of romantic? But
I hope so.
When they finally are in the team.
Well,
because right now we know they're not in the team.
I hope so, because I really kind of enjoyed. I enjoyed this moment. They came together. They had microverse monsters running around, and they had to work together, and it worked. I thought it was really. I don't know. Something about the story was just kind of heartwarming.
So if a microverse bug is biggened in Arizona, but they shrink it down in New York, does it still go back down to the Arizona?
I don't know.
I was like, well, okay.
It's just in space somewhere.
Where did it go?
It's in microspace somewhere.
Yeah.
It's this floating dinosaur. It's like,
I don't know. That just was like, okay. Overall, all new, all different. It brings together, which is going to be, for the first time, I think, one of Marvel's, for at least their flagship title, the most diverse team. It's something new. And we'll see where it goes from here. They got to bring
Charles
the team together. I know.
Charles thought it was a fun book, finally.
I know.
I had to tell him to settle down. I was like, you settle down in that chat room.
Do you want to go with the Ultimates?
Sure.
I love the Ultimates.
I enjoyed it as well. I enjoyed it because we got to see Binary a little bit. They're just adding more.
Hey.
I don't know with all the supers.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Mic down. I'll keep talking. So
Okay.
let's get this out of the way while someone fixes their mic. So it was written by. We're talking about Ultimates #1 from Marvel Comics. It was written by
Al Ewing.
Kenneth Rocafort was the artist. Dan Brown was the color artist, and VC's Joe Sabino was the letterer. Oh my goodness. This, just like Avengers, is an all diverse team again. There are 2 women. One was the first to have the Captain Marvel title, and the other is the second to have the Captain Marvel title. I loved that.
I don't interrupt him, Charles.
Black Panther, the Blue Marvel, and Little Miss America Chavez is the team.
So many minorities up in this book.
I know.
It's
Love
like
it.
A Mighty Avengers all over again. It's like Mighty Space Avengers.
And that's exactly what it is. I loved the art. Oh, my God. My only complaint is why is Carol, her eyes, why is she putting, what is that called when they do all that makeup? I don't know. This is the best Carol.
I like the way she looked.
I do too. He
Kenneth
draws an
Rockford
amazing Carol.
Is just knocking it out of the park. I really enjoyed his artwork in this book. I thought the super science was a bit meh. I know that Frank was talking about in the Geek Chat Facebook group about how they're introducing the super science, about when there was a type of particle that only existed outside of the universe, and then once Doom recreated the universe, it changed that particle, and now it can exist in our universe. Yeah. And it's like this 8 thing, but the name of it is taken from a mobile app game, so they're trying to bridge that gap.
I'm telling you, Marvel is good about bringing all their stuff together to make one universe.
Yep.
And that is where, again, that Superman book didn't work for us because who knows where it fits in.
Exactly. No, totally agree. But I guess they're going to try to be using this new technology in order to satiate Galactus's hunger.
Yeah. Galactus shows up. I love the fact that I got to see a Captain Marvel. So I didn't read the Captain Marvel, the last couple of volumes of Captain Marvel.
I read a couple of them.
This is the Captain Marvel I want to see. A kick-ass. She goes binary. I don't want to see her, walking around because she's got something wrong with her. I enjoy this Captain Marvel, and I really hope when Captain Marvel gets relaunched and her new #1, she's not sitting around whiny. She's actually punchy, because I like punchy Carol.
The only thing that Charles in the comments said it was boring.
I didn't think it was boring at
and it's
all.
not that it was boring. It's just it was filled with a lot of super science.
They need to explain everyone too.
And I'm fine. I'm fine if you have to have that exposition to try to show how cool you are or add to it or whatever. It's fine. This is a big idea space book. I get it. Fine. Whatever. But as long as they continue to bring their A game with the art and it's an interesting story. I mean, you had Spectrum and Miss America Chavez on that weird world.
And we're learning about how they feel about each other.
Yeah, learning how they work together, and then the super science with the weird thing that was a floating symbiotic head shooting out security drones, and just showing how Spectrum, when she's moving at the speed of light, and how
she sees people,
and how Miss America Chavez is still moving but in slow motion, but she knows how powerful she is. It's just that characterization of and seeing them use their powers in relation to each other is really fun. It's really interesting to me.
Like the fact she says, I've never seen anything like it. It's almost scary. She's incredible, and she knows it, and then she says, God, I feel old. It's some character moments we need, especially people that don't know these people. You're saying, look, she's new, and she's amazing. And I mean, we love our Spectrum or whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah, but you can also finally get a sense of their power, and I like that. I loved when Black Panther was when they had the Triskelion, and they had like what on the U.S. soil, and it's about like each one of the three arms he does everything, and then the person from the United Nations was all worried about allying with the U.S. and T'Challa was like, no, they'd only slow us down.
How cool that he's back too.
just a really interesting
little bit
book.
Of politics, a little bit of.
There's just a lot of stuff going. That's the one thing, though, is I really hope that it doesn't burn out, though. That's the one thing that I'm worried about, is I just really hope that it doesn't burn out or get too big for its own britches.
Big for its britches.
But it's a good book. I really highly suggest picking it up.
The next number one.
Was a lot of fun.
What would you like?
Oh, my actual pick of the week was All New Wolverine #1. This book was amazing. I really, really enjoyed it. And I have followed
Lopez.
No, her name is Laura, right?
Laura. Oh yeah, X-23. Laura.
Yeah, I've followed X-23 for a very long time. So to actually see her and as the new Wolverine just makes sense. And another good issue with a lot of really good character moments, and just showing that it really showcased how she is going to be different than Wolverine.
So let's get this out of the way. We are talking about all new Wolverine #1 from Marvel Comics. Tom Taylor is the writer. David Lopez and David Navarrete did the art. Nathan Fairbarn did the color art. VC's Corey Pettit did letters, and Manny Medeiros did the production design. Yes, so
what did you think?
I really liked it. I went in with low expectations, but I have always been a fan of hers. I just didn't know, how they were going to pull this out, because it seems everyone's being replaced now. And we knew back when she was hit on the cartoon from where she came from that she was going to be something. And I'm really glad, a decade later, she is now the Wolverine. And
it did take a while, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It's interesting that they put her in the yellow and blue, because remember when she showed up, this was a ways ago, you probably won't, and she was wearing Fang's costume,
mm-hmm.
and that was kind of like the tan and brown costume.
Yeah.
So the fact they put her in his yellow and blue, which goes back to his first appearance, that I'm glad they're leaving that. They kept the costume very close. They remembered her feet claw, which made me very happy.
Right? I was not expecting to see that.
They always forget about that. The fact that she used that claw to hang on, they're keeping her past very close. Do you want to spoil the ending?
Yeah, go ahead.
So in her past, she has had clones that have tried to kill her, and now they're back, and they're talking to her. And I love that little creepy aspect at the end when the mask came off.
Yeah, but the overwhelming sentiment was like, why are you stopping us? You should be helping us.
Yeah.
So there's something like a rebellion going on. Are we going to see more about what's going on? I don't know. I really enjoyed seeing Angel though, or Warren
in his new costume with his new powers and their new relationship.
I know. She kept having to correct him. It's like, it's Wolverine in the field. I love the artwork. I've been a fan of David Lopez for a long time.
Yeah.
And
He knocked it out of the park with
he
this.
really did. And I wasn't expecting, see, that was the thing. Like, I just saw Wolverine and her, and I was just like, I wasn't going to get it originally. And then you were like,
I liked it when I read it. I read it Tuesday and I loved it.
And I was like, yeah. And then just their whole relationship when she was on fire and Warren wanted to hug her.
Yeah,
and
she's like, don't hug me. And he's like, I'm so sorry.
No, because she's like, I'm on fire and I have a dislocated shoulder. And then he didn't know what to do, so he patted her on the head.
I loved it.
And then she's like, oh,
I didn't say stop.
Yeah, he's like, did you pat me on the head? He's like, yes, I'm sorry. And she's like, I didn't say stop. So it's this weird relationship that they're trying to navigate between the two of these people. It's just,
I love her excuse too. She's like, it's not, I just wrote an exploding predator drone. You think I'm afraid of a public display of affection? I just have a So she explains why.
Yeah.
So
she's becoming more okay with her emotions.
Yes.
Because that's what she always was. Like, every writer always took it there with her. I am a clone of Wolverine. I can't control my emotions. I have this weird trigger sense. I can't do this. I can't do that. And now they're really trying to explore that. And I'm just like, yes, finally, give this character some life. Let her live and be a fully realized person.
Yeah.
Especially with the flashback to her and Wolverine during the X-Force days. And that's the one thing about Marvel that just gets it right almost every time, is the fact that they're able to so seamlessly weave in their continuity. Is just great. And just that quiet moment of saying, when she got hit by a bazooka and then she woke up and Wolverine is like sitting there with her and she's like,
4 pages made the book.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm so sorry I didn't kill that person. And he's like, no, that's great. You were able to keep that part of your life, of who you are that I don't have, saying that you were actually better than me because you're not a slave to the animal. It's just, it's a really good book, really good writing.
You're the best there is at what you do, but that doesn't mean you have to do it.
Perfect. And that's the thing, Wolverine, for whatever reason, they've always painted him like he doesn't have that choice. He's the best at words, and what he does isn't pretty, because that's just what he has to do. Really good book. I will definitely be picking up the next issue, especially as long as the writing, especially as long as his
the
creative
team is
on there. This is
definitely
a really good book. I would highly suggest picking it up.
So the next one we are going to go into is The Protectors of the Spider-Verse, the Web Warriors.
I wasn't going to pick this one up either. And I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and I really like the whole Web Warrior stuff and with the Inheritors and all that stuff. But I was just like, a whole book about spider people? I was just like, I don't know if I can do it.
So the writer is Mike Costa. David Baldian is the penciler. Scott Hanna is the inker. Jason Keith is the colorist, and VC's Joe Caramanga was the letterer. Why do I have such a hard time saying that damn word?
It's the 2 T's.
Letterer. I read this and I thought, this is real. This is fun. I really love the Spider-Verse stuff. Reading this, and I'm like, Des, you have to read it. Just read it, review it. If you want to pick it up, pick it up. And you ended up liking it.
I did. Because, again, I'm a Spider-Man fan. Like, I'm going to read Miles Morales. I've read Spider-Man for a very long time. And I thought, I liked it, but I thought maybe this whole concept has ran its course, and it doesn't need to be here anymore. And I have to say that I was wrong. I was wrong. Rich was right.
Hey, I love
Mark
that.
it down on this date.
So
Rich was right.
One of the things I loved about it was the art. The artist drew them all kind of differently. Like, you can definitely tell who's who. The fact that the pig looks like a pig, and he kept the feel of the different worlds, because when they are in the cartoon universe, the way he drew the actual Web Warriors different than the people of that Earth they're on. That was huge.
Yeah, and I liked that's how they use that world as their danger room. I just thought that was hilarious because it's a cartoon world where there's like nothing.
You can't die.
You can't die, and then they actually have an ode to a meme, a Spider-Man meme that was going right. It's just having those kind of meta messages in this book and them being able to explore that is a lot of fun.
So funny.
And it was just a really good book, and then actually showing again the individual lives of these various spider people,
Yes, we get
because
to see
even
their-
though that they have the same power sets, they're all very different people.
Right.
You know, I like how the Indian Spider-Man is the brains, and you have the broody guy, which is Spider-Man Noir. Then you have the girls. I actually enjoy Gwen Stacy in this book. I think Gwen Stacy in her solo book is just, I don't know, it's just very dull. I don't know why, but her with Mayday doing all that stuff,
Yeah.
it really was fun. And then the reveal that there's another group of villains that are doing the same thing they are with
But
the
why?
Electro Core.
I was going to say, because
And all those variations, I love the different variations of the Electro.
Right.
So cool.
Electro now, using his powers, can go through the different
I have a question.
years.
Was the Black Electro, is that Jamie Foxx's character from the movies?
My God, what if it is?
Oh,
That'd
that would be
that would
hilarious. That would be really cool if that was the Jamie Foxx character, and they kind of alluded to that, because that was the one thing I was trying to see is like, is that Jamie Foxx? Because it sort of hit me like it was. So I hope that it is.
Maybe we should tweet them.
Yeah, it's like, love the Jamie Foxx cameo
Yeah.
in Web Warriors.
Oh no, just another fun book from Marvel.
I will definitely be picking it up as well. Damn you, Rich.
So
Illuminati, which is the next book that we're going to talk about, and it's
Okay.
about villains. I don't know about this one. This one really was kind of I don't know. The villains can't be trusted. So in this book, the writer was Joshua. So the book is called Illuminati #1, 2015. Hopefully, it's not going to be rebooted next year. $3.99 from Marvel Comics. Writer was Joshua Williamson. Artist was Sean Crystal. Colorist is John Rausch, and the letter is VC's Joe Caramanga. Sorry.
and a lovely cover by Riley Rossmo.
Yes.
I wish he was drawing the inside of the book.
I really do. That's the one thing that kind of, like, with the villains and the mayhem and the stuff that's going on.
Too cartoony.
Yeah, I don't think that's the one thing that kind of held for me. Like, don't get me wrong, the art is solid,
But
It's
not
just,
for this book.
But yeah, it's just a little too cartoony
And
for
colorful, a little too colorful.
for the
Illuminati. Villains.
No, yeah, for the villains.
Tone.
Yeah, exactly. For the tone of this book, I think the art is just a little too
I had trouble finding
bright
it in your brain.
and colorful. Thank you for pulling it out.
You're welcome.
Reached into my ear and pulled out my thought.
Story-wise, I like the story. I like how, I liked the Hood in, was it Dark Reign?
Never was a fan of the Hood. And I think that's another reason why I just couldn't really get into it. Was I never really was a fan of the Hood, although, and I enjoyed Thunderbolts when it became about the villains.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? And they were in the Fight Club thing, and everyone hated that. Like, I actually liked that. So
Of course you did.
I like I like books about villains. It's fun, but I don't know. There's something about the characters. Like, I want to see what's happening with Titania and absorbing man, and she all wants to go straight, and they're like, are you kidding? Absorbing man would go crazy and start knocking off, convenience stores just for the high. And I think that's true. I think these are like career criminals. It would be silly for them to try to go straight. I just don't think it would work, but I was hoping that they're able to extend that narrative, and then having the reveal that the Hood is set them all up to bring this together is just kind of interesting. I mean, it's a spin to it, but it's not a spin that I'm not surprised to see.
I will read it. I'll read the next one.
Why are you going to read it?
I actually I want to find out who is the prisoner. I want to find out, what the Hood's angle is. if it was anything, it was the art just was not. It did not match well with the tone of this book at all for me. Some of his proportions were way off. Their faces are kind of odd. I don't know. Just looking at the cover with Riley Rossmo, I'm like, damn, couldn't it be just a little darker? I don't know. That was my opinion of it.
But it wasn't. Again, it wasn't a bad.
No, it wasn't a bad book at all.
You know, it just
didn't hit it for you.
Yeah, it's one of those books that just didn't. It just didn't hook me like I would have hoped it would, and mostly because I think it's just because I just didn't really like the Hood as a character.
So we got one more Marvel #1. That was last week's, I should say, relaunch of Hawkeye.
And it didn't need to be relaunched, in my opinion.
That's how I feel about the Astonishing Ant-Man. Did not need to be relaunched.
Yeah,
but they needed the #1s.
But because it just follows the same storyline that Jeff Lemire was writing beforehand. Okay,
let's get this out of the way. All new Hawkeye. Everything's got to be all new. So all new Hawkeye #1 from Marvel Comics. Written by Jeff Lemire. The artist is Ramon Perez. Ian Herring did the colors. And VC's Joe Sabino did the lettering. Lettering. I'm going to get this one of these days.
Wow.
I have to say, this wasn't one of my picks this week. I find the new Hawkeye to be kind of not my Hawkeye. He isn't for me.
He's not your Hawkeye?
He's not my Hawkeye.
Okay, so how far back did he stop being your Hawkeye?
As soon as they put him in street clothes.
Okay.
And
so you're talking about the Matt Fraction run and all that
not
stuff.
I mean, I just don't enjoy this Hawkeye.
Well, do you like how he's being represented in New Avengers?
I ignore him. Much like I ignore Black Widow.
Wow.
Yes. I hate both of them now. Marvel has ruined them for me because of their movies. I used to love Black Widow. I hate what she's become. And for me, Hawkeye, this book, you know what? I read it. I like the new female Hawkeye, which I hate the fact they have the same name, but what the hell? There's 2 Thors. There's 2 everything. Who cares? I just did not care for this. Personally.
I didn't. I didn't
care for it either. Just fess up.
I didn't care for it that
much
either.
You didn't care for it either.
I didn't care for it either that much because it just seemed like it didn't need to be.
I can't be the bad guy all the time. You did not like this book either.
You always wanted to be the bad guy all the time. No, I didn't like the book. I thought this is a narrative. I thought it was just kind of boring. It's like the whole first setup with Lumire's run was telling about his history, and now we go 20 years into the future in which Hawkeye, the Hawkeyes have feuded, and then Clint has been a recluse, locked in his apartment for 20 years, and Kate has gone on and made a various different Hawkeyes. Wow.
Sorry.
This mic is just trying to kill me right now.
The mic fell apart again.
I think Rich is trying to kill me with the mic, you guys. Trying
sorry
to kill
about
me.
That. Continue what you were saying. I'm really sorry.
No, I'm just saying it just 20 years in the future and they don't like each other. It doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't need that angst. Is what it really came down to. And it's just what Matt Fraction did with Hawkeye. Great.
You can't someone else has to have a different take on it.
I just think that they just need to go into their own and do their own thing with him. And then seeing the Mandarin in the future, and he had that weird disco ball tie and the white suit. It just, and wouldn't the Mandarin be in like his 80s now? Because I don't think that he has a ring that slows his age or something. I don't know. Just, I wasn't a fan of it, to tell you the truth. I probably will not be picking it up, and I'm sad for that. I really am.
I did not do it that time. I did not. I was nowhere near it. So the next book I want to talk about is from Image, and we love our Image books on the Geek Chat. And this is going to be another one of those. It's going to be a month to month because I don't know where this book. I have no clue where it's going. The book we're going to review is from Image Comics. It's called Limbo. #1. It's a $2.99 book.
I'm picking it up.
So the writer is Dan Waters. The artist is Casper Wingard, And the letterer is Jim Campbell.
It's that Appalachian accent. You can't get away from it.
Can't.
You
It's
cannot
the
get
one
away
thing
from
I
it.
Can't say. This is about a guy who he's an amnesiac. So he's lost he can only remember the last, 6 weeks?
6 months.
6 months. Doesn't know what happened to him. He was found almost dead.
But the thing that made me interesting about that is is it like he only can have 6 months of memory, or does he only have 6 months from when we start the story?
So he says, someone hit me hard.
No, I get that.
And
but
now I've only got 9 months worth of
9 months.
memories.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is it from 9 months from when he got hit till now, or is it?
We'll find out, hopefully.
Because would it be weird if it was that? It's like he can only remember a 9-month chunk of his life.
So
he always forgets.
He always
the day.
forgets that. Yeah, he forgets what he did.
Because that would be kind of cool,
That would
actually. That would be a real interesting thing. It's like this kind of weird memento thing. 9 months ago, I can't remember 9 months ago.
So the amnesiac, almost dead guy has a friend who helped him set up, and now he's a private investigator. And in this book, we meet his new client. We meet why she is coming to him, and it's almost like one of those old noir detective stories where the girl walks in and she's all beautiful and she's asking for help.
Another reviewer said it quite eloquently when he said this book is like it's like the movie Angel Heart, if you ever saw that movie with Mickey Rourke and
I didn't.
Lisa Bonet. And
Lisa Bonet, really?
Yeah, that's the one that she got in trouble for.
She was all naked.
Yeah, she showed her tits, and Bill Cosby was like, "You can't do
say
that."
that.
Well, she did.
Okay.
And then the other guy, Raging Bull guy. Can't remember his name. Anyway, but yeah, it's sort of like that. It's got magic. It's got weird cannibal monster things.
Oh my God, the fishmen that grow teeth and eat
people. And the woman. What I really liked is the woman who saved him and gave him kind of a purpose is like this voodoo witch.
Yeah, a
but
priestess.
she's a priestess, and she has to commune with the Loa, which was put in Brother Voodoo, which I really enjoyed.
Uh-huh.
So it's just really steeped in this kind of and you don't really know where this city is. I mean, they name the city, but you don't know what state it's in. It could be
I thought it was
Louisiana.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was around.
But
there.
she has to dance and sing to like Kool and the Gang to
Yeah.
start to commune with the spirits. And then there's another guy who has a goat and a television, and
the television sucks him in,
and that he's dancing with the television, and the goat gets sucked in by the television. It's a lot of weird shit going on.
That's why I really liked it.
Yeah,
And the art is so.
And the art is really good.
We'll talk about tone of a book. The art on this, the way they use their colors, everything about this hits all the marks for the tone.
I totally agree. And it's like, what was happening with the there was the thing that and then the main villain is a luchador because he wears a mask. It's just so much cool shit is going on in this book. And for $2.99, you're getting a lot. Like I was just very interested in what's going on and why he's an amnesiac and what is this city and
Yes.
why is magic. Like it asked a lot of questions.
This is how you put together a book that makes people want to read the next issue. Because
Very good book.
A ton of little plot holes, plot threads that were waiting to be.
Yes, for a $2.99 book,
$2.90.
$2.99. I wish it was $2.90.
$2.90. I'll
It was
save that
really-
9 cents to pay
it
for a
was-
bag.
Yeah, it is. It was really good, and I highly suggest picking it up, you guys. It was really, 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 really good. Now, a book that I didn't really get into that much, honestly. And I'm a big Jason Aaron fan, and some of his stuff that's non-superhero, he's an interesting guy. Really cute, I'll give him that, but something about him. So the book that we're going to talk about now is The God Damned, and I'll tell you now
Goddamned.
that it is not for everybody.
Nope.
You have been warned. This book is not it is graphic,
It's rated M for mature.
and it is a strong M, okay? And it's called The God Damned. It's by Image Comics, and yes, Charles, they are a comic book publisher. And it's called Before the Flood Part 1, The Mark of Cain. Written by Jason Aaron, art by R.M. Guerrera. Colors by Julia Brusco. And letters and design by Jared K. Fletcher. Variant cover by Jock. That's awesome. And The Goddamn was created by Aaron and Guerrera. It is, in a nutshell, it is a story about the days after Cain slew Abel. That's who The Goddamned is. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Yep, book's over.
It is a story about Cain. And Cain living in the world after they were banished from Eden, and he can't die. He is a weird anti-hero. I guess he's trying to die.
Yeah, he's trying to find something that will help break the curse.
Yeah, something that will kill him, and it just unfortunately cannot happen.
And we meet him getting peed on by this little boy.
He was dead. He was in a shithole, and,
Yep.
and he was dead. And this kid's like peeing on him. He wakes up, and they're like, "You were dead," and blah blah blah.
And he's like, "Who did this to me? Where are they? Where can I find them?"
Yeah.
And that's the story. And then he goes,
kills all of them.
kills all of them.
And then a lot more exposition about like why.
Oh my God, yes.
And he's like really mad. He's like really mad at God. So if you're a
religious person,
Yeah, he
stay
talks-
away from this book.
talks very bad about God. I was like, wow, he is not happy. What did you think, Rich?
I read it today because we were going to be discussing it, and this book isn't for me.
Again, the crux of the story is it's Cain, and his like Abel's dead. You don't know, and it's just him wandering around the world of the damned. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
I'll read to be honest, I'll read the second issue because I got to know what happens.
So we meet, I guess, his adversary, which is Noah. And Noah is leading a band of barbarians that are collecting people for some reason. So I have a feeling that Cain is going to become an anti-hero at some point and have to kill people or something.
Well, he's already killing people.
No. Have to kill these people or these followers of Noah for some reason. So I don't know. I'm just speculating right now, but there's just a lot of stuff that happened in the book. But it just... So that's all you have to say? This was not for you?
I'll read the second issue, but, the first issue, it was bloody, it was violent, it swore a lot. They swear during that time? They had the word fuck back then? That always takes me out of a story. I know that you have to have it, but it just kind of took me out.
You have to have it. It's just...
Well,
it would have been really fun if he did it in, like, old biblical, language and stuff, but you have
that
to
would
make
have
it
been hard for people to read.
Yeah, you have to make it accessible to folks, but... Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We were going to review Batman and Robin Eternal #6 from DC Comics. But
because we know that Charles is waiting for us to do that. But sorry, Charles, we're not going to review it today.
Yeah, we're not going to waste our time on this book.
Oh, he said that, not me, Charles. He said that. But I do have to agree with him. I don't know what's going on with this book anymore. Like, I'm going to continue to read it because it's $2.99 and I want to see if they're able to get out of the slump that it's in.
But 6 issues in and already we're like, nah.
Well, because there was not, for me, real quick, I like seeing Harper Row and Cassandra Cain pal around. I like what's going on with them, and that was not at all showcased in this book.
So
it
we
was
should
another backstory about what happened with Dick Grayson, with the Scarecrow, some other bullshit, and I was just like, I don't care about that.
So we should tell Didio, cancel Batman and Robin Eternal, and give us Birds of Prey weekly.
Yes, if the one thing that comes out of this book is a Birds of Prey starring Cassandra Cain, Harper Row, and Stephanie Brown, I will read and I will read it. Just sign me up. That's me signing the paper for picking it up as long as it's going.
Unless it's really shitty art.
Nah, I'll probably even read it then. I like the characters, and then at the end we have them, talking about. I guess Dick found them, and he's like, or Robin, if someone finds them, and they're like, "Hey, girls, found you. Now we got to get to work." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, great. We're gonna get to the work." Yay.
You know what's funny is we talk about DC trying to keep with the legacy. That would be a really cool legacy book.
Yeah, but I was thinking that it could be. We could see Barbara as their kind of mentor.
No.
But I would love to see.
No.
But
now
I would
since she got de-aged.
Oh no, but I would love to see someone as their mentor. But I don't know who would fill that bill. We can't have Black Canary because of what she's doing. I thought about it would be really good if Dick mentor, but I don't know if that would
That
really
wouldn't work with Hypnos or whatever
exactly
it's called.
what's going on with Grayson
What's
and
the name of their thing? Spiral.
Yeah, and Spiral. So I just don't know who, or maybe it would just be them running around being silly or doing stuff. I don't know. Or maybe they don't need a mentor.
Red Tornado.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Speaking of, he's on tonight's episode.
I think that got delayed.
They cut it.
Due to the
because
the
of what happened
tragedy.
in Paris, they
So
did cut it.
Tonight is going to be Livewire instead.
Which is fine. I'll watch it. I enjoy Livewire. I know Terry's going to be excited for it.
That's Gotham.
What?
Gotham has that.
A Livewire?
No, Livewire's on
Yeah.
that. No. Oh, something about Gotham. Never mind.
I don't
So we
watch
have 4 minutes left, and here's my thing of Secret Wars number 7 from Marvel Comics.
the silence. Is that what you have?
Yes.
Just the silence. It came out. That means something, right?
It does. I know.
It came out. We got it. It's in our hot little hands. I have nothing to add to it either. I just don't know. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about it. So, Secret Wars number 7 finally came out. We got 2 more issues after this. It is $3.99 from Marvel Comics. It is written by Jonathan Hickman. It is drawn by I can never see his. Is it Isaac Ribic? Is that how you say his name?
Oh, Kevin, welcome. I just saw you're on. Yes, Batwoman non-vampire Batwoman could work well with these children.
Non-vampire what?
She's a bat. But yes, I agree with that.
Writer and designer is Jonathan Hickman. Artist is Isad Ribic. Color artist is Eve Savarsina. Letters by Clayton Close. Sorry. The production was Edette Wincourt. Yeah, Secret Wars. Come and get it while it's still fresh. So yeah, people are
the Prophet. Just all of a sudden, we haven't talked about him for 6 issues, but let's talk about him now.
No, they talked about him.
They
talked about him a little bit. He was the one around. He was the one running around spreading about weird about how Doom is not good, and then Doom sent his generals to yes, Kevin. Dr. Doom is the most boring god in the universe ever. Yes. He just kind of sits on his big tree.
And that brings up, did you notice, though, I'm wondering if they're going to connect this, because you notice in those first couple pages the way the cubes are. And that was kind of how Scarlet Witch, when she was going crazy, those cubes were everywhere.
I just think the cubes is a way of them showing things being decompartmentalized or compartmentalized
in his head.
and then breaking apart.
Yeah, why doesn't Doom stop it? And where did Maestro come from? And there's just...
Oh, that was so annoying.
We have so many questions.
So annoying seeing Maestro show up. I was like, whoa. He's supposed to be fighting Doom in somewhere. And
in his head. And then you've got...
whole...
Even Hickman said he hopes when this is collected, it's in the order it's supposed to be. So how could Marvel pull the beginning? Like, why didn't you just count to 20 and then... I don't know. I didn't understand
This whole episode was a clusterfuck of ideas that just... And it's just still more setup. It's just more setup.
We got 2 issues to go.
It's more setup. Yay! I don't know. I just don't know. And then the cover... of everyone fighting Dr. Doom, an ode to the old Secret Wars cover.
Would have been nice if that happened.
Didn't happen.
Doom's just sitting around on his throne.
I want to see Jerry Curl Beyonder show up.
Jerry
Curl.
I
want to see him show up and be like, Doom, you fucked up. And just take it away. Or something. I don't know. I just found it incredibly boring.
Yes.
And
me
then
too.
I did like the siege, whatever, courageous or whatever that they offered the zombies. The zombies could be reborn or whatever. I thought that was kind of cool, because I like the Siege Perilous and what happened in the X-Men. So for me, that was kind of like, but for the most part, didn't like it. So everybody,
we got 45 seconds.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Our sponsors, real quick, Clip Card Printing. Go and say hi. Gene Gelmet from RLT Press. Love you, Gene. He's our artist. Terry Miller. She's the one that does all of the sounds you hear. And our major sponsor, and we are the...
Whatever Comics, located at 548 Castro Street between 18th and 19th. Check us out on the web, Whatever Store online, and go to Facebook under Whatever Store. Have a good night.
Love you.
Geek Chat.
Geek Chat. Geek Chat. Geek Chat. Geek Chat.